Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I hope all of you are having a great day. It's very sunny outside, and I thought I'd do a video today about the top movies from the year 2009, the top 30 movies to be exact. Why did I pick a round number? As you can see, there's 30 movies, and you see from 2000 to 2009, there's 10 years. Now, once pick, my only rule was pick three movies for each year. You cannot pick more than three movies per year. So there might be some ties, but in that case, it has to be ties from the same year. It cannot be tied with something else. So I have some honorable mention. Count of Monte Cristo, Saw 1, Shaun of the Dead, Rocky Balboa. Oh, was there something else? Stallion Nights. I felt were good, but not good enough. Road to Perdition. They were good, but not good enough to be in that list. So over the movies that are on this list, okay, you'll probably much recognize them. And if not, that might actually be a hint for you to maybe check them out whenever you can. So, number 30, it's American Psycho from 2008, from 2000. Basically, the first, for number 30, basically starts out the decade. So, it's Christian Bale plays Patrick Bateman in that case, who is a narcissistic psychopath who's so intent to fit in. He listens to everything, every song that's on the radio, as a unmatched love for Huey Lewis and the News. And here's a psychopath who's working as a stockbroker and is ready to kill people just if they have a better business card than he does. Things like that. Like basically, sometimes it's hilarious, sometimes it's kind of terrifying. But I think Christian Bale plays him comedically, and sometimes he knows when to be comedic and when to be terrifying. So that's a very good movie. Number 29 would be Saw 2. I want to put Saw on the list. That's why I put it in honorable mention. But the year 2004 is already filled out. So I decided the next best thing is Saw 2 because the next best one of the series. And that movie, right in the first one, was just a bathroom with two people. There's two settings. In this case, there's the people, the plethora of people that are stuck in the deserted house where they've been kidnapped by Jigsaw and his apprentice, as well as basically Donnie Wahlberg playing the detective and John Kramer. And the discourse between John Kramer and the detective is very, very interesting. I feel like it's very fun to see. It's it's fascinating to see how John Kramer, despite all of this, still doesn't view himself as a psychopath or as a killer. He's so convinced that he's doing the right thing, not just for him, but for his victims, that it makes him a great antagonist. So, just like in wrestling, sometimes the best antagonists are the ones who are so convinced that everything they're doing is right. So that's number 29. 28, Shrek, the first Shrek. I love the first Shrek in 2001. It was 2001, the first Shrek. I love, in this case, I love the fact that basically there's a satire of Disney movies, but it's also exposing Disney movies for being superficial and shallow. They always made sure back in the day that the princess and the protagonist always good looking, always aesthetically pleasing, but the bad guy is always ugly. Basically, he's always visually unappealing. That's basically reversal of fortune in this case. I mean, with the trilogy, you can see like Prince Charming. That trilogy is a bad guy. That series, so yeah. So in that case, okay, I felt like Mike Myers did a great voiceover role, voiceover performance there, but I felt like it was overshadowed by Donkey, played by Eddie Murphy. I thought the joke still worked to this day, and the fact that they must have worked and created a great legacy for from DreamWorks and Universal, who have a great history of making great animated movies. So much so they're gonna be Shrek 5 next year, 25 years after the original. Boy, do I feel. Okay, number 27, The Bourne Identity. I love Bourne Identity because it established Matt Damon as a great bankable action star. Yes, he wasn't saving Private Ryan, but he was the target of a rescue. He wasn't an action star in that movie. And I also like this because one of my favorite movies is Good Will Hunting. And Jason Bourne, and I thought the whole trilogy, which I'm not gonna put a whole trilogy here, so the only one I put in is John Identity, and I also like Jason Bourne in 2016. I thought in this case there's no installment in that series of movie that's bad, but I prefer the first one. And like I said, established Matt Damon is a great action star, but it's also the fact of in this case, just it's Jason Bourne is able to remember his training, he's trying to find out his identity, and he's still able to beat up any or basically dispose of any people that is put in his path. So that's very, very, very intriguing movie. Also, number 26, There Will Be Blood from 2007. Daniel Day-Lewis makes the movie. Need I say more? I don't think I will go more than saying he drinks your milkshake. He drinks it up. That's it. Go watch a movie, watch his performance. Paul Dano is great in that too, but it's a Daniel Day-Lewis performance. So, number 25, it's a tie from 2009. Watchmen, the director's cut, and Sherlock Holmes from 2009. I love Watchmen. To me, that's my favorite Zack Snyder movie. So everybody was like, I'm not a Snyder hater. I'm not a Snyder bro either. I thought Sucker Punch sucked. I thought his Rebel movie sucked. I thought Army of the Dead was okay. Batman vs Superman has some great moments, the warehouse scene, but I think it's still, even after the ultimate cut, I still think it's kind of incoherent. The Justice League his version is great, but it's nearly 4 hours, so it's exhausting. I love Dawn of the Dead, but Dawn of the Dead 2004 and was filled out. Watchmen to me is my favorite superhero movie from Zack Snyder. Okay, I also like Man of Steel. I really like it, but not as much as Watchmen. Watchmen to me, if you you read the comic books, it's pretty much the same as a comic book. I mean, Rorschach is a psychopath parodying around as a superhero, but he steals the show in this case. Night Owl is basically their equivalent of Batman. So Spectre was kind of like the one played by Malin Ackerman was to me the weak link of the movie. But Ozymandias, you can kind of see from the get-go the way it was played by Matthew Good. I damn well knew he was a bad guy. Even if you didn't read the comics, you would know he was be like a bad guy, be revealed as a bad guy. Dr. Manhattan was very, very credible in this movie, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan as a comedian was great casting. To me, it's the whole movie's passionate. But if I were to recommend you something, is don't watch the Ultimate Cut, watch the director's cut. Ultimate Cut is a bit too much. So, and Sherlock Holmes, it's Robert Downey Jr. basically and Jude Law having an action movie, an action version of Sherlock Holmes on this one, and I thought it was very, very good, very, very well done. So here's a movie that I would love to see Sherlock Holmes stream. So that's for 2009. So basically, that was number 25. Number 24 from 2006, Blood Diamond. Leonardo DiCaprio had 2 great movies that year. Spoiler alert. Okay. And it's one of those movies that's on the list right now. It's Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jimon Unsu. I'm sorry if I mispronounce his name, but and Jennifer Connelly. I really like this movie. It was very, very well done. Something that I saw in December 2006 in the movie theater, and I felt was worth watching. And it's something I would rewatch again on DVD. So I'm going to spend more time on this. 2003 and 23 for a 23rd spot from 2003 is X-Men 2, X-Men United. That's personally my favorite X-Men movie ever. I mean, sorely X-Men. I mean, in this case, Wolverine basically, it felt like this is when they started gearing more toward Wolverine because it felt a very Wolverine-centered story with the X-Men. I mean, Wolverine goes back to face William Stryker, but Cyclops is kind of sidelined most of the movie. This is when they really start treating badly Cyclops. Jean Grey pulling The Ultimate Sacrifice. I like Iceman in this, but I also like the discourse between Pyro and Magneto, basically trying to convert them to the Brotherhood. I thought the whole movie was well done. Even the beginning with Nightcrawler getting to the White House was fantastic. So that's number 23rd. 22nd, from 2008, Tropic Thunder. This movie is hilarious. Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Cruise steal the show. To me, it's like both of them are doing against type. A world that's against type. Robert Downey Jr., the joke about this is he's a method actor. He's a method actor who tries to take roles that are not even his. You know, he goes so far for his roles that he gets surgery for this. You know what I'm talking about? And as far as Tom Cruise, he plasters himself with makeup. He's nearly unrecognizable. I remember seeing a movie theater when they said "and Tom Cruise." People said, "What?" We're amazed it was Tom Cruise. To me, I wasn't, but it's like I like the fact he wasn't playing an action star. It was basically a comedy full in the whole movie, and that was great. Like the whole movie is a parody of the movie industry. I mean, Tug Speedman, Ben Stiller's character, is a parody of a guy who does action movie, only action movie, and it's like they do sequel after sequel, and after a while, Scorcher 6 was basically repeating the first one. That was a parody of this. Jack Black was a parody of the Nutty Professor movies. Kurt Lazarus was basically a parody of a method actor who goes too far for his roles, and it's like a method actor who basically doesn't realize that, hey, it's a role you're playing, you're going way too far. And yeah, that's all parody about Hollywood. If you see it like this, it's very, very as the way you're supposed to see it, then it's very enjoyable. So number 21st, another speaking of Tom Cruise in 2004, Collateral. I love that movie, and to me, that's my favorite Michael Mann movie. That's right, I like Heat, but I don't love it as much as Collateral. I thought Collateral is being slept on, is very underrated. In this case, I spoke to them on the top 50 bad guys. Vincent, played by Tom Cruise, to me is very intriguing. His different philosophy. Basically tries to give life advice to Max about how to move on, basically how to achieve his dream. But at the same time, he's playing he's a professional hitman. So in the same kind of way, there's some chemistry between Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise in that movie, and I thought it was very, very well done. It's 1 hour 40 minutes, so it flies back fast when you see the movie. So that's very good. But so this movie is tied with Anchorman. Will Ferrell's best movie, in my opinion. I mean, Anchorman, Ron Burgundy is such an idiot, and it's like, and his team of idiots as well. But that's the thing. They're the joke. We're laughing at them. We're not laughing with them. So to me, that's the thing about you can say stupid stuff as long as you make sure that that the people you're making fun of are the idiots. So making sure that the idiots who are always wrong say the wrong thing. So I don't think that's that tough there. So yeah, I love Anchorman, and what else can I say about I Love Lamp? I mean, Brick Tamland, Steve Carell. I think that's the role that made him basically a bankable star. So I will always love this for the whole movie. And I love the news reporter fight. So yeah. Now we're going to number 20, another comedy, Borat 2006. I love Borat the movie. What I disliked at the time was people kept quoting it all the time. It's like it was funny when Borat did it. It's not funny when you do it. It's funny because of context. And very controversial movie for people nowadays. But to me, it's just like, yeah, his character's an idiot. So why the uproar about it? So that's number 20. Number 19, the first movie of Christopher Nolan on that list. Again, another spoiler, Memento from 2000. Here's a movie that's basically done in reverse order. And I thought Guy Pearce did, honestly, I think is his best performance to date, even now. So it's a very well done movie. It's not that long, but it's like something I would recommend people to go watch. Number 18 from 2007, Children of Men. Clive Owen to me, Clive Owen, Julianne Moore, and Michael Caine basically playing a dystopian future in which case humans are no longer fertile. So the first woman who happens to have a natural pregnancy has to be protected in that movie. So I thought it was very, very good. A very good movie. it's a thriller, and basically there's many twists in the story that you won't see coming. And also, yeah, this come out also. So for that kind of movie, a thriller like this, there was a movie that actually spooked me that I was not prepared for. So that's very good as a movie. Number 17 from 2004, Shrek 2. I mentioned about Shrek. Shrek 2 to me is the best one of the bunch. I mean, Prince Charming is such a hateable character. And again, I like the fact that they took Prince Charming was a good guy in the Disney universe. I mean, a bad guy here, as well as the fairy godmother. And I love how they made Prince Charming such to be a mama's boy. It's like that was hilarious by itself. I mean, he's getting the equivalent of a Happy Meal as a grown up. To me, it was hilarious. But I love the fact of, to me, it was again a play of Disney. It's like let's try to make Shrek appealing. I love the fact that at the end, Fiona was saying, "I want to be with the man with the ogre I'm married." To me, it's like a very emotional moment. It's like this is where I say that Shrek differentiate himself truly from Disney, and I love the message. I prefer that message over Disney movies. This is like basically be yourself. Because, but again, there's a hilarious moment, the introduction of Puss in Boots, the Muffin Man, like the giant Muffin Man, the giant gingerbread man, things like that. So hilarious. Number 16, Hot Fuzz, 2007. I wanted to put Shaun of the Dead there, but as you can see, 2004 is getting filled up. So the next best thing was Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz, a great parody of police buddy movies. So Nick Frost and Simon Pegg have tremendous chemistry together, and Timothy Dalton plays an excellent bad guy. But there's more than meets the eye in that movie. So that's for Hot Fuzz. Number 15, Spider-Man 2 from 2004. Now, that's basically my number one movie of 2004. To me, between this and No Way Home, those are the two peak Spider-Man movies. I mean, they hit their stride there. I mean, Tobey Maguire really rocked as Spider-Man. I don't care about organic webs. I thought, honestly, it's still ridiculous. And I always thought that people that were really hell bent on making it as accurate as possible really need to get a life. It doesn't matter to me that they're organic or not organic. To me, is the movie good or not? People who are clamoring, but it's not comic book accurate. Well, there's a lot of things in comic books that don't translate well to big screen. In this case, what translated well on big screen was Spider-Man continuing, or Peter Parker continuing to be Spider-Man. But at the same time that this happened, Harry Osborn is mourning the death of his father, the Green Goblin, from the first one. And he's becoming more and more bitter and becoming more and more like his dad. But at the same time, since he doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, he's still a friend of Peter Parker, but he resents him for knowing Spider-Man. And Mary Jane, basically, in this case, she doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but this movie shows, based on the team, the first one, responsibility. The more he's becoming Spider-Man, the more negative impact the more does it negatively impact his life. I mean, his grades are getting lower, he's more tired, he has less time at his job, so basically he's just struggling to get by as being Spider-Man. So basically, this presents a dilemma for Peter Parker. Should I continue being Spider-Man or should I not? After a while, basically the lack of energy means he loses basically his web, so that caused him to briefly retire as Spider-Man. So we could mention about the story there. I mean, James Franco played Harry Osborn very well. J.K. Simmons is hilarious as J.J. Jameson. And Alfred Molina, I thought, as Dr. Octopus, played a very sympathetic, yet tunnel vision villain. But I really like the depiction of Dr. Octopus in that movie. And again, Danny Elfman's score. I mean, he did the Batman 89 score, Batman Returns. His scores are very good. So that's for number 15. Number 14 from 2000, again, Gladiator. I love that movie. I think, looking back, it's Joaquin Phoenix's second best performance. Yeah, there's Joker, and then there's this, but it's like at least Gladiator 2 did not suck. Ooh. And I know what Joaquin Phoenix was on in it, but at least it did not ruin the first one. To me, Joker 2 is a movie to be ignored. Because if you do, then Joker retains his value. But I digress. That's for another thing, for another subject. Gladiator, I really like that movie about Maximus wanting his revenge for his family being murdered by Commodus. The reason he did it because basically Commodus would never get the respect of his father like Maximus did. And Commodus was a coward and he deserved his end, his grimy hand. So I thought that was a very good movie. Nothing more can be said without spoiling the story. So I go to number 13 from 2001, American Pie 2. I told, as you can probably guess by now, in the numerous videos I've done, yes, there's some comedies. American Pie 1 was very good, but again, it's like when I watched it, it's like people in high school mode. So it's like they catered this for high schoolers. 2-3 years to be afterwards, you're in college or university, and they cater to people what's life after high school in university. And when you go to college or university, and you're still trying to keep contact with your friends, your best friends that you've had since high school. That's what it basically represents to me. It's basically what's life, what's the transition, what's change from high school to college or university in this case. So what was a change? In this case, you see freedom, you see classes, but at the same time, it's the things that change is you start to become an adult. You're not really there, but you can be an adult. What changed? How does it affect your relationships? And how did your relationships change with people you don't see anymore? That to me was, yeah, it confronts those issues in a comic way, but I thought it was very, very important. Also, in that movie, it shows that things you attribute a lot of importance in high school, they're not that important in long, long term. Basically, they were important in high school, but the moment you get out that microcosm world of high school, it's not that important. So I thought it's a very comedic way of seeing that. And yeah, Stifler steals the show, and every time he gets a bit too obnoxious, he always gets brought down a peg. So to me, that's very, very enjoyable. So that's for number 13. Number 12 from 2002, Minority Report. I think that's another Steven Spielberg movie that's been slept on. And I mean, Tom Cruise, to me, that's one of his definitive movies, and it's not mentioned nearly enough to my liking. I mean, uh, it's about basically a police officer being framed for a murder he might commit in the future. Okay, that's all I can describe it without describing the plot. Go see it whenever you can. Number 11, just barely under the top 10 from 2008, Iron Man. To me, still remains one, if not the second best Marvel movie ever, and it's the first one in the universe. Robert Downey Jr. rocked that performance, and I thought it was like basically, if this didn't work, this movie didn't work, there wouldn't be a MCU to begin with. I mean, every movie that Robert Downey Jr. played in, regardless if it's good or not, he always nails it in his performance as Iron Man, as Tony Stark. Gwyneth Paltrow was okay. That's all I can say for Gwyneth Paltrow. I thought Jeff Bridges deserves more credit for playing Obadiah Stane. He took a character that could be generic and fleshed him out to be three-dimensional. Again, and one of my favorite lines I could quote from a Marvel movie, but it's like this movie is better, gets better every time I watch it. It's my favorite, it's the best movie of the Iron Man trilogy by far. But yeah, I'd say people should go watch it, go out of their way to see it. So now we're finished with everything but the top 10. Number 10, this is where I kind of cheat. From 2003, it's Kill Bill, but since it's a story of separating two movies, I'll say Kill Bill complete story, the complete saga from 2003. I know it was only 1 and 2, but I'm going to say the whole saga. I mean, this is a great movie from Quentin Tarantino. It's his take on basically, in this case, a samurai movie. Uma Thurman, to me, was born to play the bride. That movie, I mean, was excellent. The way it started, basically with Uma Thurman, Vivica A. Fox already there, you know what to expect afterwards. You have a good idea what to expect, but it develops each character. Each character basically uh, of the former gang of the bride, of the bride. Sorry. I mean, you have Elle Driver, you have Vernita Green, you have Bud, and you have Bill, and you have O-Ren Ishii. Every one of them to me was, I like the fact that there was, you introduce all of them to flesh out those characters. Vernita Green used to be an assassin, now he's a murderer, and it's kind of funny that basically all of this happens. The first fight scene happens basically as her kids coming back from school. Things like that are funny. Or basically the fight with Oren Ishii and the Crazy 88 was spectacular. They presented Bud as kind of a loser, and Michael Madsen had a great performance, and Bill kind of became, at some moments that were sympathetic, but it's like then you realize at the end he's still a murderous asshole. And that's not even to speak about the training scenes of Uma Thurman's character. So an awesome movie if you put it together. I prefer Volume 1 over Volume 2 though. Just saying. That's for me. Number 9 from 2006, The Departed. Told you it wasn't the only Leonardo movie on this list. I think is Jack Nicholson's last great performance in that movie. I mean, it's Martin Scorsese, it's gangsters. Of course, it's going to be good. So, in that case, I mean, Mark Wahlberg had his best performance there. Matt Damon, again, we talk about Matt Damon, an action star. 4 years later, after 2002, after Born Identity, he plays Colin Sullivan, who's a mole in the FBI. And whereas Leonardo DiCaprio is an FBI agent being a mole for the mafia. It's very, very intriguing, very passionate. It's like keeps you on the tip of your toes from beginning to end. So that's all I say. Number 8 from 2005, Sin City. This is Frank Miller's best movie by far. The second wasn't as good, but this one I love. I especially love Marv story arc. I mean, I tried to protect Jamie King's character. It was also fun seeing Dwight and Rosario Dawson basically fighting off plethora of bad guys. Even basically Adigan, Bruce Willis' character, and Jessica Alba trying to protect them from Nick Stahl's characters. That was very, very well done. And all the stories that combined in the end with Josh Hartnett. Like basically goes back to the beginning of the movie, and at the end, Josh Hartnett's Hitman character basically goes full circle. So that's for number 8. Number 7 from 2009. Up. Looking around, yep, that's the highest ranked Pixar movie in the list. I mean, Up is a movie that I went to go see in the movie theater that I had no expectation, zero expectation seeing it. And the first the 8-minute montage about the relationship between Carl and Ellie is very emotional, and it told the entire story without saying one word. And you can understand Carl's character. He was widowed, and the pain it had on him. Basically, the fact that he wanted to have a kid, they wanted to have a kid and they couldn't. It's things like that that you felt for those characters. Again, another side character that stole the show, Doug. Doug was hilarious. Was basically what you imagine a dog would say. So it was hilarious. Even Kevin was hilarious there. So to me, that's the peak of Pixar. That and Toy Story 3 are the peak of Pixar. It's like they were able to make you laugh and make you emotional at the same time. That's right. Number 6. Oh, this will be from 2002, The Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. It's the middle movie of the Return of the King it's a middle movie of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and might be the weakest one, but still the weakest one in the trilogy is still saying something. So it's very, very good. So I put it there. I'm gonna summarize the story. You probably know, you probably watched this, but Gollum steals the show in this one. Okay, number 5. It's from 2001. It's The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. I'm laughing because I put them basically one above the other. But Fellowship of the Ring is where he introduced everybody of the Fellowship of the Ring: Frodo, Samwise Gamgee, which is my favorite character in this case, as well as Aragorn. Uh, my brother's favorite character is King Tilden, which was introduced in 2000s, by the way. Uh, as well, I love Legolas and Gimli's friendly rivalry. I also like Boromir. Boromir was normally made what in wrestling they call it heel turn, the first one, and to redeem himself, he saved the hobbits by going out one of the best badass hero deaths you could have in a movie. So the movie was very good. Was it my favorite Lord of the Rings movie though? No, but you see it there. Number four, Batman Begins, 2005. When I went to see the movie theater, which is holy crap, 20 years ago, it's like, oh boy, I had no expectation. I had the Michael Keaton, Tim Burton movie in my mind, and I was like, it's not gonna beat that. It's not gonna beat that. Then you go see the movie theater, it's like, well, that's something. That was very good. That was very good. It's like a very good remake, but I always feel like Chris Nolan was a bit careful. They kind of made it in a way, in some ways, where it's like it could nearly act as a prequel to Batman '89. Sure, there's some things he's changed, but not too much that you can say, hey, if this didn't work, you could basically place it along with Batman '89. That's how it felt. Like he basically always started as Batman. Yeah, there's a Joker card at the end, but they basically shoved it like the ending could have been before after uh, Joker after Jack Nicholson become the Joker. You can place it like this in that order if Batman Begins was not the success that it was. So I love this. Christian Bale as Batman nails it, and screw people who talk about his voice. Like there might be two, three lines the whole trilogy that kind of bug me because of voice, but most of it, no. It's supposed to be a voice modulator. And plus, like, would you want to speak with your normal voice? People would eventually, due to facial feature and the voice, recognize you easily. So, okay, so I love Christian Bale as Batman. I cannot say he's better than Michael Keaton, but I can say Keaton is better either. To me, they're just both as good for different reasons. So, I love Michael Caine as Alfred. He's very emotional, he's very dignified, but at the same time can do little quips at Bruce. And he's the way that they more accentuate the relationship of surrogate father and surrogate son between each other more than the Tim Burton Batman movie, in my opinion. What else? Cillian Murphy is great as Scarecrow. Liam Neeson was awesome as a result. So I've talked about how great of a trilogy it is beforehand. So let's move on to a movie that's not a trilogy. Number three, the top three, Inglourious Basterds from 2009. That's my top movie of 2009. And looking with that trilogy, with that list, I've noticed there were more movies that were great in 2009 than I thought they'd be. Inglourious Basterds. Here's a movie where, yeah, Brad Pitt is very cool in that movie. Eli Roth also. But there's one character that steals the show, and it's the bad guy, Hans Landa, played by Christoph Waltz. My God, was this guy was terrifying. He knew basically everything he said was like, okay, it was playing. It's like a cat playing with a mouse in four languages. In four languages, he was able to speak French, Italian, German, and English, and all of them. I mean, French, German, Italian, well, that much of an accent, like perfectly. In English, you could get around with. That's terrifying when you're playing that kind of bad guy. Like he was a detective that loved his job way too much and wanted to make sure that he would uphold his reputation. He was hateable, but again, it's a bad guy, in which case he's supposed to be hateable. So more than his job, he deserved his best supporting actor trophy. And the whole movie to me flies by fast. Even if there's a lot of talking, I don't care. I love this because there was a reason for this is to prepare you for. It's like the calm before the storm, prepare you for the storm. So I love that movie. Love it on DVD, and I don't regret it. And I watch them from time to time as well. Number two, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Again, people talk about criticism. I never knew that people criticize that, oh, there's 25 endings after in this series. No, it's say goodbye to characters you're not gonna see again. That's what an ending's supposed to do. Like, and it's following your book. So it's like, okay, big book. So it's separate already the story in three movies rather than just one. Originally, there was supposed to be one or two movies. Imagine how rushed that would have been. No, they put a trilogy and look at what happened. I saw Return of the King, people clapped. It was a standing ovation at the end of the movie in tears. So everything about this movie was outstanding. And I'm speechless, so I'm rather not basically waste your time. So let's move on to number one. I think it's basically from 2008, The Dark Knight. That to me is the movie of the decade. Again, Christian Bale nails it. Gary Oldman nails it as Lieutenant Gordon. Alfred by Michael Caine's awesome, and Lucius Fox by Morgan Freeman is very good. But as you can tell, Heath Ledger enhanced the movie. And what's hilarious is every time there's a Batman movie, there's always people complaining about the casting. Always. Michael Keaton back in the 80s. Oh, he was going to be a good Batman. What happened? He nails it. And now he's seen as people as a definitive live action Batman. Christian Bale, there wasn't that much, but it's still people say the American Psycho guy. It was just minor. Compared to other Batman, it was minor. Heath Ledger as Joker, huh? The guy from Brokeback Mountain, the guy from 10 Things I Hate About You. He did rom-coms before then. He's not going to be a good Joker, and then he did it. And he basically won a Academy Award for this. Or how about this? Ben Affleck won't be a good Batman. And then we saw in Batman vs Superman, he's like a great highlight. The movies weren't good, but he was a great highlight. And people complain about, oh, Robert Pattinson, the guy from Twilight, he's sure as hell going to be a good Batman. Look what happened. Always in the movies, in the Batman movie series, always people complain about the casting. And look what happened. More often than not, they nail it out of the park. In that case, Heath Ledger nailed it out of the park. So he was, like I said, hypnotic, mesmerizing as a Joker, and you were hooked on everything he did. But we also sleep on Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face. What to play basically a really bad good guy being corrupted by the basically by the power of pain, losing Rachel in that movie, basically so him descend into madness. So to me, it's a very intriguing movie. It's a heist movie of Batman, and to me, that's great because to me, it's my number one movie of that decade. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll be back there, but I'd like to take a little. Maybe I'll go into another list because I talk a lot about movies. I might do about video games. I might do about TV shows. I might do about wrestling. I'm not sure which one. But I'll get back to you on that one. So I'll come back to you in several days with another video. On that note, take care, guys.